folks. We're out here making another video today. We are show enough. I call it show enough country. This is western Tennessee, about as far as you can go. We're about 50 miles northeast of Memphis, a little town called Nutbush. It's in the middle of Haywood County. I personally have never been through here, and I'm going to tell you, if you ever have been, you wouldn't know it, because there's the beginning of town and there's the end of town. You could drive right through here and you would never know that the Queen of Rock, not many people knew her by her real name, Anna Mae Bullock. She recently passed away. Tina Turner is what everybody knew her as. Absolute tragedy. She passed away this past Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. And I'm going to show you all around here today. I'm going to try to find her old home place. If nothing else, I'll show you the school that she went to, the church she sang at, this old grocery store here behind us. This was the original grocery store. It's since obviously been closed down. A lot of traffic influx coming through Nutbush these days. I talked to some of the locals and they said that it's just been overran. The museum down in Brownsville has just been overran with people coming to pay their respects. Of course, she just passed away a few days ago, so that's kind of expected. Y'all stick around. I'm going to show you all a whole bunch of stuff on Tina today. Hope y'all enjoy this. All right, folks, I've got y'all out here right now. There's mosquitoes and it's hot. My head's shining. I'm so sorry. I've got y'all out here right now at the Flag Grove Elementary School location. I'm going to give y'all some specifics for the ones who want to come out here. This is Elm Tree Road, okay? There's a curve back here on the road, and when you come out here, you'll see what I'm talking about. You come down this curve. Let me spin the camera around. I'm going to show y'all. You'll come down this curve. Now, right at the end of this curve, you're going to see a great big white house behind those trees. So you come down the road, and you'll come to the first little area right here. It looks like it might be an opening into a field, okay? What you're going to see right here, this is where the school was located, right here in front of us. The school was located about 75 yards up, straight ahead, on top of this little hill right here. It's a little small mound. It was located right up there in the middle of the field. Now, that story I just told you comes from the landowner that donated the school to the town of Brownsville for the museum. I spoke with him. The school came with about 2 acres of land, and all through his life, his great-grandfather, or his grandfather one, owned the land back in the early 1900s, and actually had memories of Tina. Said she was quite a rambunctious little girl. Said she liked to sing, and she was late to school quite a bit, and she was known to climb through the back window of the school. They would lock the door when it was starting time. And but yeah, what you see right here behind us right now is the location of the school. I wish there was more to show you. I wish there was some type of a driveway going in. The main reason it was relocated is the gentleman that owns the land currently, his father, they housed corn. There was 2 barns beside the school. Of course, it was empty. It was empty and pretty much condemned. It was used for storage. They kept pigs. They raised little piglets and stuff in a barn right next door to it, and they stored feed and stored hay and stuff like that in the actual school that you see today at the museum. The reason that they moved it is what you see behind us right now. This is a big crop field. This is some kind of a soybean, I believe, and they had to put irrigation in. And the building was so far back, when they were putting in this irrigation, you'll see it back here behind me now. I'll spin the camera around and show you right quick. When they were putting in the water lines for this irrigation system right here, this thing just spins in this field. It waters. It's automatic. It does it automatically. Well, the school was right out in the middle of the field right out here, and it would have not allowed for this crop to get watered properly by this. You see how this is kind of in a round circle? See the shape of that kind of going around? This whole field is a big circle. And believe it or not, that watering system right there feeds this whole thing. The school would have blocked it, so they had to get rid of the school, so they donated it. And it was hauled out of here. So I'm so glad I found this. I've been out here for about 30 minutes driving around looking. Sometimes you gotta just knock on that door, ring the doorbell, ask the question. All they can do is tell you to leave, right? I don't mean to intrude on anybody. This YouTube and stuff, sometimes you gotta ask questions, okay? Let's go to the next location. Tina Turner was born Anna Mae Bullock on November the 26th, 1939 in Brownsville, Tennessee, the youngest daughter of Floyd Richard Bullock and his wife, Zelma Priscilla. The family lived nearby in the unincorporated community of Nutbush, Tennessee, where her father worked as an overseer of the sharecroppers at Poindexter Farm on Highway 180. She later recalled picking cotton with her family at a very early age. Bullock had two older sisters, Evelyn Juanita Curry and Ruby Aline Bullock. She was also the first cousin once removed from bluesman Eugene Bridges. As young children, the three sisters were separated when their parents relocated to Knoxville, Tennessee to work in the defense facility during World War II. Bullock went to stay with her strict religious paternal grandparents, Alex and Roxana Bullock, who were deacon and deaconesses at the Woodlawn Missionary Baptist Church. After the war, the sisters were reunited with their parents and moved them to Knoxville, Tennessee. 2 years later, the family returned to Nutbush to live in Flag Grove community, where Bullock attended Flag Grove Elementary School from 1st through 8th grade. As a young girl, Bullock sang in the church choir at Nutbush Spring Hill Baptist Church. When she was 11 years old, her mother Zelma ran off without warning, seeking freedom from her abusive relationship with Floyd by relocating to St. Louis in 1950. 2 years after her mother left the family, her father married another woman and moved to Detroit in 1952. Bullock and her sisters were sent to live with their maternal grandmother, Georgiana Curry, in Brownsville, Tennessee. She stated in her autobiography that her parents had not loved her and she always felt unwanted. Zelma had planned to leave Floyd, but stayed once she became pregnant. Turner recalled, "She was a very young woman who didn't want another kid." As a teenager, Bullock worked as a domestic worker for the Henderson family. She was at the Henderson house when she was notified her half-sister Evelyn had died in a car crash alongside her cousins Margaret and Bella Evans. As a self-professed tomboy, Bullock joined the cheerleading squad and the female basketball team at Carver High School in Brownsville. When Bullock was 16, her grandmother had died, so she went to live with her mother in St. Louis. She graduated from Summer High School in 1958. After her graduation, Bullock worked as a nurse aide at Barnes Jewish Hospital. So once she had moved to St. Louis, Bullock and her sister began to frequent nightclubs in St. Louis and East St. Louis primarily. I'm going to talk about Ike Turner very little in this video because Tina had moved so far past that in her life. I don't even want to bring it up for real, but I think it just needs to be mentioned how they met, and that's all we're going to say. And a little bit about what Tina said, and quote, "I would have been lost in life at that point without him. I mean, I could do two things, work in a hospital or sing in Ike's band. I didn't know anything else or anyone else, and I wanted to sing." Tina was quoted saying that in 1986. All right, folks, we've made it out here to Elm Tree Road. This is actually the same road that the schoolhouse is on, but it's a few miles that way. And I want to point this out. There are so many trees out here. This tree, I'm like 30 feet from this tree. This tree is big around as a small car. I know it has to have been here when Tina was here. And I say that because this is the road her home place was on. It's a little bit windy. I've got a little bit of a cold, but I'm doing the best I can. But this is the road her old home place was on. And in the 70s and in the 80s, all of these houses down through here were demolished. And a lot of the houses, the wood was used to build barns and stuff like that in the area. So these fields all around here. Anna Mae Bullock most likely picked cotton as a daily chore given to her by her father from these fields right here. Tina Turner, superstar Tina Turner. I'm gonna walk up here just a little bit. The breeze is picking up a little bit, so we'll spin this around. This field here, more than likely, Tina Turner drug a sack and picked cotton. real quick before we go, this is Elm Tree Road. There's a sharp curve in the road right before you get to what's called Lagoon Creek, which is right there behind me. The house, I was told, was definitely in this stretch of road. It's probably about 350, 400 yards worth of road here. And it was on either the east or the west side of the road, but it definitely was here, so I was told by locals. Now, Tina just passed away a few days ago. I can almost guarantee you in the following weeks or months, they're going to come out here and nail down this location exactly where the home place was. You might even see a recreation of the home place possibly. This is going to be a huge thing in the future. We're just right on top of it right now. So some of the details are still a little bit hazy, but I'm just trying to give you all the general area. And so let's get back to the story. All right, folks, so we made it down here Woodlawn Road, and we're at Woodlawn Baptist Church. I kind of wanted to end this video right here. You know, Tina's going to be buried in Switzerland, and I doubt I'll ever get a chance to go over and see her grave. Who knows? But this, to me, is kind of where her soul was. You know, Tina, very early on, expressed her interest in being an entertainer, and from the first grade all the way up until the 8th grade. You know, she moved around a lot, and a lot of the stuff that a lot of the stories and things that are told about her, there's a lot of jumping around. But I do know, I can anchor it down, that from the time she was in the first grade, which 6 years old or so, somewhere around there, to the time she was about 12 years old, 13, 14 years old, somewhere in there, Tina sang right here, her soul. Everything about her was let loose. She was already, as a young child like that, she was already a superstar in this community. Nobody knew who Tina Turner was at that time. They knew little Anna Mae Bullock. Man, this is one of those sites that when you come to, it'll almost make you kind of emotional. Right here behind me, you can't see it, or in front of me rather, right over here is a graveyard. And I would venture to say that some of her family's probably buried over here. I don't think Tina ever came back to this community once she left. I think she left here and she never looked back. But I would love to sit on one of those pews on any given Sunday and listen to her. Man, thinking back to her, this is emotional for me, man. Try not to show that, but Tina was one of those people that when she sang, you could hear it. You could hear it in her voice. Emotions, man. She was, God. Anyways, folks, they're going to see me start dropping one or two out on here, okay? I'm going to get off here, okay? It's just an emotional thing for me, okay? So for Tina, family, Anna Mae, all y'all, everybody watching this, thank y'all so much for y'all's time today. If y'all are new to this channel, or if you're still hanging on at this point, you might as well go ahead and like and subscribe and hang around. I got a lot more good stuff coming. Got a huge trip coming up in about a week. Y'all are going to want to see some of that, trust me. And y'all like, share, and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for the support. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought. We'll catch y'all on the next one.